mamas, I'm talking to you today because I know how overwhelming it can be as a parent to feel like you're trying to juggle all of the tasks and all of the mental load. It's work, it's home, it's life, it's all the little things. And so sometimes fitness and taking care of ourselves can feel completely overwhelming and not possible. And today I want to make that possible for you because I want to share some specific mom-approved tips by yours truly, because they help me to have my ultimate transformation after becoming a parent and after being over 30. So don't think it's impossible, because it's not, and I'm here to help you with that today. We're gonna work with your schedule and with your situation, not against it. So if you're ready, let's jump in. What's up, mamas? Alexandria here, 35-year-old toddler mom. I'm also a licensed therapist for over 10 years, which is kind of hard to believe, as well as a self-professed gym rat. As a mom myself, I realize how difficult it can be and how overwhelming it can be to feel like you are in a space where you can also take care of your health. But I want to encourage you throughout this video that you can do it and that it is possible. And I do want to make a quick note though for the postpartum moms out there. If you have a child that is less than 6 months old, come back to this video later. I want you to go take care of yourself, go sit down, maybe go for a light walk. This video is not for you right now, because postpartum motherhood is hard enough with you having to worry about taking care of a newborn and also trying to be like hyper fit. Unless you're an actress, there's no need for that. So come back to this video when your child is at least 6 months old, okay? Just because you don't need that in your life right now. And it's gonna be okay. I'll see you in 6 months. Okay, so let's jump to step one, which is put aside the mom guilt. Now, I know y'all are probably like, listen, Alexandria, why are you gonna put that at the top of the video? That's really hard. Yes, I know it is. And I'm not pretending that it's an easy thing to do, but it really is truly the first step to actually being able to put on your own mask on the plane. Is you really have to find out and discover and realize that your health matters and is important too. Understand why you're making this fitness transformation and why you want to be a healthier and better version of yourself. And once you're able to do that, that is truly when you will actually start to see the change. Because for me, every time I would like go to try to work out, like earlier on when my son was little, I always felt guilty because I'm like, well, I need to be spending time with him, or I need to be doing X, Y, and Z for him, or blah, 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 blah. There was always a reason that I felt bad about taking care of myself, but I was seeing the negative impacts on being able to take care of my son because I wasn't healthy mentally or physically, that helped me to realize that that's what I needed to overcome the mom guilt. And so remembering that not only are you setting a good example for your family, for your kids, by showing up for yourself and taking care of yourself, you're setting a good example for them and showing them that moving their body is important, exercising is important, and taking care of themselves. But you're also setting a boundary for your personal health and showing them that that's important too. So keep that in mind. It's not selfish to take care of yourself when it's at the benefit of all of your other family members as well. Because I can tell you honestly and truthfully, I have so much more energy now than I did, when I wasn't taking care of myself. And so I'm able to do 2, 3, 4 times as much. I'm actually able to be more productive because I'm taking better care of myself. Does that make sense at all? Hopefully it does. So you have to, the therapist in me wants to tell you to like write some things down. And so I do. I encourage you, write some stuff down. Try to figure out what the barriers are that are keeping you from, taking care of yourself from a mom guilt standpoint, and really tackle those. I did make a video, gosh, this was like early on in making fitness content, like health wellness content, but I'll link that video too. It can be a useful video for you about mom guilt. So I'll link that one in case you'd like to go watch that one next. Step number 2 is it's also important to recognize that you cannot do it all. And I know this may feel like duh, but I honestly don't think that it is, because I think what happens, because this happened to me, is you see all of these moms on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or whatever the social media is of the hour. You see all of them who have seemingly the perfect house, the perfect body, the perfect children, like all the things. And these are not realistic expectations, because this is not real. And I say this all the time to my clients and stuff like that, but like, it's really important and sometimes easier than others to remember that you're seeing people's highlight reels, and also probably about half the time when you're seeing a clean home, they probably scooted all the mess out of the way to get it out of the shot. I know I do. That's why you cannot see the mess. There's mess in this room. You just cannot see it. And the reality is you cannot do it all. I cannot do it all. None of us is superhuman. And so it really does mean, as parents, as hard as that can be, that we have to really sit down and look at our priorities and decide what is a priority for us and what isn't. And realistically, the priorities in your life right now will tell you what's important to you. It's the way that we live our life dictates what's important to us, because that's the stuff we make time for, right? And so right now, if you're feeling like you can't make time for that, it's because you have not prioritized your health. You don't see a reason to prioritize your health. And I totally can understand that. I totally get it. I do. This, like I said, this is not me trying to like bully you or make you feel bad about yourself. You probably do that well enough on your own. I'm just saying to you that you're showing what your priorities are based on what you're doing. And I'm not saying that it is easy, because it's definitely not. There are so many hats to wear and so many things to do. But what I guarantee is that if this thing were important to your kid, you would make it happen, because you're a mom and that's what we do. So I want you to treat your fitness or health in the same way and show up for yourself in that way. So it really does mean looking at your priorities and saying, what's on the priority list and what can I deprioritize? For me, it's our house, okay? Like, listen, if you come over to my house knocking, you're gonna be greeted by some messy rooms. You just are, because I have deprioritized the neatness of our home for the sake of my workouts. Could I, and also for YouTube a little bit too, but we're not here to talk about YouTube. We're on, doesn't matter. My point is I have prioritized my fitness and taking care of myself over having like the cleanest house on the block and things like that. So for you, you kind of have to decide what, not every day necessarily, but what are the things that need to basically be deprioritized in order for you to be able to prioritize your health. And once you decide that, make active small change to actually implement. And for those of you saying, oh, I don't have time, like I have too many kids, whatever. Okay, I hear you. The reality is that as moms in particular, as parents in general, like, it's very easy for us to make reasons for why we can't do that thing, because there's always so much to do. So it's really easy for us to put something else on it. We really have to actively make that choice that we're gonna do something differently, because otherwise everything always will overshadow, because there's always gonna be 900 things to do. And but your health can't be 901, okay? Please, I love you. And here's the thing too, is I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. If you really look at your priorities and truly are like, my health is not that high of a priority scale. I don't really care about being healthy. I don't really care about living a long time for my family. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's your business. It's your choice. I'm not telling you. You're the one who clicked on the video. So I'm just telling you, because if it is important to you, you will make time for it. And if it's truly not that important to you, you probably won't. And listen guys, if you're finding this video useful or helpful in some way, I would really appreciate if you would give this video a thumbs up. And I would love to be your non-judgy mom friend who comes alongside you to help you reach your goals. I promise I really am not coming from a place of judgment. I'm coming from a place of love, because these are the things that I needed to hear when I was getting started. So I really hope that it's serving for you guys, because that is my ultimate goal here. And if you did give the video a thumbs up, I really thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Step 3 is to make them micro habits and take smaller steps. A lot of times I feel like, and this is the approach to so many things, right? Like, we're biologically programmed to want to, make things as easy as possible for ourselves. And so oftentimes you see these like sort of quick fixes and things like that on the internet. And I've certainly fallen prey to many of those in the past. But the reality is, especially for moms or super busy people, we have to make the time where it exists. So if that means all you have in a day is 5 minutes or 10 minutes before your kid gets up, or after your kid goes to bed, or whatever the case may be, take those 5 or 10 minutes, because the all or nothing mentality of like, well, I don't have time to do a full 30-minute workout is just going to keep you stuck. It's important as moms that we be realistic with ourselves about what time we can commit. And if it feels like, especially early on when you're trying to figure out your groove with health and being fit, with being healthy, all those sort of things, take small doses of it. Work out for 5 minutes, work out for 10 minutes. Build those micro habits first and make it into your schedule. That way it doesn't have to feel so overwhelming for you, and it'll be much easier to keep going once you've created the micro habit over time, once you've sort of already built that habitual thing, it'll make things much easier for you in the long run. And I think the thing is that we see all these people on the internet doing like these extensive workouts and we think that's the only way, but I promise you it's not. In fact, if you don't believe me, go watch the exercise snacks video that I did, gosh, I don't even know how long ago, but about probably 6 months ago at this point. Go watch that exercise snack video. That was 2 minutes of exercise every day for 30 days. And I saw some significant improvements in specific areas just from doing that. So take the time that you have and don't underestimate how much of a positive impact a small amount can have. Sure, you're not gonna lose, 20, 30, 40, 100 pounds overnight by just doing a couple of minutes a day. But it's a step in the right direction. So give yourself some grace with that, because I know we are so hard on ourselves. That might mean getting up early. That might mean going to bed a little later. Or I tend to prefer morning to evening just from a trying to go to sleep perspective. But listen, if you are really committed to something, take 5 extra minutes, take 10 minutes, and then reassess and see if you can commit to more at a later date. The power of consistency is extremely underrated. Staying consistent, stay the course, and you will reach your goals. You will, promise. Number 4, prioritize sleep as much as humanly possible. Now, again, I know as a parent, this may feel semi-impossible to you, but here's the thing. While you can't control if your kid is sick or when your kid goes to bed or when your kid, any of those sort of things, you cannot necessarily control how they are going to behave from a sleep standpoint, all that sort of stuff. What you can control though is what you do otherwise, right? So you might not be able to control that they get up super early in the morning, but you might be able to control the fact that you go to bed at a slightly earlier time rather than doom scrolling on Instagram. I'm not judging you for doom scrolling on Instagram. I get it as a parent. We have so little time to ourselves and so little time to decompress. It can be really easy to be like, oh, I just need 20 minutes. But again, it circles back to those priorities. What are you prioritizing? What are you making important to you? What are you making time for? Again, this is not a place of judgment. I am kind of trying to call you out, but I don't mean in a negative way. So if you feel called out, I'm sorry. But what I am saying to you is that while you can't control how your kid sleeps, you can control the things that you do to try to set yourself up for the best sleep possible. And at the end of the day, as parents, we're all tired all the time regardless, right? I'm kidding. But sleep is really important to recovery. And so while you might be tired, you still have to make time for those sorts of activities that help you to wind down for bed without compromising your sleep. If I've offended you, I'm sorry. But do the best you can, okay? Give yourself some grace. Just do the best you can, because sleep really truly is important. And step 5 is, of course, to prioritize whole foods and protein. This is a game changer. Now, I cannot promise you that your child is going to be willing to eat the foods that you are eating. I've yet to tackle and conquer that one myself. So if you've got tips and advice, I'll take them. The food that we eat is fuel for our body, and it does impact the way that we are able to function. And so if you're struggling and feeling tired a bunch, you may want to assess what kind of foods that you're using to fuel your body, because your food is going to give you energy. So if you can, to the best of your abilities, again, prioritize those whole foods. Prioritize eating higher protein. You're going to be more likely to have more energy throughout your day and build the muscle and all those things. And so when you're doing that, you're also setting a good example for your kids of seeing, the kind of foods that are going to be nutrient dense for your body. But also, it's just that one of those things as a parent, our needs tend to go on the wayside of what our kid needs. And so we might be willing to make them a nice dinner, but then we don't do the same for ourselves. So your health and nutrition matters also. So make time to eat the healthy foods and, show them what healthy foods look like and how they fuel your body, so you actually have more energy to do the things that you need to do, but also the things that you just want. I really do hope that this video has been useful or helpful and these feel actionable tips to you, because I really feel like a decent bulk of this really is about the mindset around motherhood, about the mindset around what we're capable of and what we're not capable of. And so I hope that I've helped you in some way to know that it really is truly possible, but that we have to be, we have to be aware of the way that we are thinking about these situations. And if this video was helpful to you, I recommend that you go watch this one here on the exercise snacks that we talked about a little bit ago. And YouTube's going to also recommend something else they think you love. I hope you love it too. Thank you for taking your time to be here today. I know your time is valuable. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, friends.